Good morning, good morning, good morning, Billy. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. All right. What a beautiful morning. I'm just getting outside for a walk right now. And I'll be on camera here in just a moment.
I'm getting myself together and I will be on camera shortly.
I think that's how we all feel sometimes. Although I did make a post, I don't know if you guys saw it, about that we are increasingly wanting to record these, and so that we can upload and share the content either in clips or in full length. And I commented when I made that post, I said, does that mean that you have to be all like rigid and all put together and everything? I said, no, absolutely not. Keep it real.
Right. I saw something
But,
come through, but I didn't get a chance to look at it because I was trying to get myself ready.
Sure. No problem at all. No problem. All right. Let me get my camera on here. All right.
I luckily have transitioned myself from getting up this early and getting moving. When we're done Zooming, I grab a quick breakfast and then I run to the grocery store and get that done. Because it seems like
right on.
time to do that. So I don't want to go to the grocery store looking scary, because I did go to the grocery store and I did meet that one gentleman who did end up ordering Men's Pack and the Focus and Slay Chew gummies from me.
Oh, this was the guy that he was an older gentleman,
Yeah.
recently widowed. Oh, that was such
Yeah,
a
the
great
widower.
story.
Yes,
Yeah.
the widower. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And we met and he wanted to, order them and try them. And I just got them to him actually on Monday. And I called him and he wanted me to bring him over to his place. He's like, you don't mind bringing them to me, do you? He's like, I really don't want to go to Big B. And I'm like, because I'm right across the street from Big B. And I'm like, no, that's fine. And he's like, I mean, I'm not a killer or anything. And I said, I know you're not, Paul. So
That's hilarious.
yeah,
Oh
it was
my
really,
gosh.
He's like, your husband will be okay with you coming over here, right? I'm like, yes, my husband will be fine.
Yeah, well, he's hitting all the marks, making sure that he's not a killer, make sure he's not a stalker.
Right.
And what was he? He was in his 80s or something?
Yeah, he's 81, he said. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He's 81.
Wow, that's awesome. Sounds like a great guy.
Yeah, he really is, so I met him at the grocery store and luckily I didn't look scary when I met him, so.
Yeah, there is, some good rationale with, kind of getting a little bit put together, if you go out into public.
Right.
We got Linda Vest coming in here. Let me get her in here. All right. And good morning, Linda. I believe you're in the room here as we getting started. And what we'll do, guys, is on these recordings, there'll be a point, could be number of minutes into our Zoom where I'll kind of just give some indication that we're kind of going into, going into mode. And that's more or less a cue for, it's actually my assistant's daughter. So Beth's daughter, Graywin is her name, is very talented at doing video editing. And so she will get the Zoom recording. Oh, we got Carol coming in here. I'll hold all that here, I guess, until more people come into Zoom, and then I'll kind of give that lowdown. Good morning, Carol. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
How's Indiana?
It's great. Weather's
Awesome.
beautiful.
Awesome. Same here. Of course, you guys get similar weather to us in Michigan, or we get similar to you, I should say. And Kathy, I think you can attest to the fact that we've got some beautiful weather here. And we have Lanita that is coming into the room. Carol, I think that might be a friend or a guest of yours.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Lenita's from Chicago, so she's an hour earlier, as
Oh.
is Marilyn
All
and
right.
Billy.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, welcome to everybody. We're just kind of getting started here as everybody's kind of coming into the room. We've got Hank coming in right now. Let me grab Hank here. And like I said, we've got, let me just kind of go through the list. We've got Kathy. We've got my wife, Emily. We've got Billy, Linda. Let me go to the list here. And Hank and Lanita. So welcome everybody. So far we'll get kind of get going here in a few minutes. What I was saying, I think we'll I'll make this comment right now. So in the recent post, and Carol, I had bounced this around, you and I had bounced this around a little bit, and that was the idea of recording these and then having those recordings, you know, kind of edited, maybe putting together some short clips so that others that maybe aren't able to attend due to schedule or whatever can still get some value out of it. You know, get this, they're not going to get the sense of community like we get because they're not live.
Stay.
They're not going to be able to ask questions if they have questions or give comments because they're not live. But hey, at least they can, you know, watch or listen to a recording. But what I was saying, Carol, just before you hopped in, is there'll be a point here, in fact, shortly, where I'll kind of, you know, kind of timestamp it. And that's what I'll let Graywin, that's my assistant's daughter. My assistant is Beth and her daughter is Graywin, and she's very talented and enjoys editing videos and stuff like that, which I don't.
Amen.
And quite honestly, I'm probably not very good at it either. So fortunately, there's people in the world like Graywin that are very talented and enjoy that. And so so there would be kind of like a timestamp point so that all this kind of early banter that like what I'm doing right now, you know, obviously is of not much value in a edited version. So and then the only other thing I would say is, you know, increasingly, we, you know, the content, I think our discussion, if we can just imagine we're in a room, you know, in a ballroom in a hotel somewhere, and it's just a bunch of people that are considering HealthPointe, you know, considering getting help with their diabetes or fitness or weight loss or whatever. And by the way, we've got Larry coming in right now. And if we kind of, and you might hear me or Carol or any of us kind of prompt that discussion point with, you know, for the new person, they might want to learn blah, blah, blah. That's kind of just a audible reminder to all of us that we're, you know, in a sense, the most important person that could be hearing this content is that new person. So we kind of want to direct a lot of our thinking, a lot of our talk track towards that new person, if that makes sense. Carol, do you have anything you want to kind of comment on as it relates to that?
No, I think that's great, Eric, and I think we all just need to be cognizant of the fact that there are newbies, and
Stay.
I think the one common thread amongst everybody is the fact that they all want better health, whether it be losing weight, whether it be supplementation, lifestyle changes, getting off medications, all kinds of reasons people are on, and some are
Good
on
girl. Stay.
because, okay, if we want to mute our phones, that would be great.
Yes,
Um,
please mute.
And so I think we just have to kind of, remind ourselves of that. And I'm speak to myself, don't want to get too super deep with people, but on the other hand, this is a very serious topic, your health, and it'll make a difference in the years to come. So I'm glad we're recording this because I do specifically have some people that can't be on just because of their time restraints at that time of the morning. Anyway,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's great. So we'll probably do those types of prompt reminders from time to time, but I think we're enough queued up. We can officially say that we're kind of getting started. Not that we have some sort of rigid format or anything here, but that'll be kind of a cue to Graywind to kind of start editing from this point forward. But as we often do, I mean, the point of these live Zooms and getting together at a specific time is to kind of get that sense of community and maybe share a little bit about the past week and as it relates to HealthPointe, what went well for us, or maybe some clients or individuals that we know, maybe what didn't go so well, and just any value-added commentary as it relates to HealthPointe and so forth. So we often go around the horn here, and people don't have to be on camera or say anything, but they're certainly welcome to. So if anybody wants to start off, Carol, actually, maybe if I can kind of kick it back, good morning. Kick it back over to you if you have any thoughts on the week or comments as it relates to HealthPointe here this morning.
sure. I've always got comments. You know that, Eric.
Right. That's why we love it.
always in the learning zone. I think that's so important, is to be in the learning and changing zone. And whatever you're reading, whatever you're listening to, whatever you're perceiving out there, perceive it for yourself. And how can I take this and make it advantageous in my life so I can be a better person and a better example for other people? There was a quote, and I have it in my cell, but I don't think I can flip over right now. We have a garage sale going on in the neighborhood, by the way. So if there's it seems like there's a lot of activity around. Everybody and his brother's out. But anyway, and I can't remember where I saw it, but it says, it's not about the weight you lose, but it's about the years you gain or the health you gain. You can even change it to health or healthy years. So if we're on a pursuit to lose weight, it's not just about losing the 5 or 10 pounds or the family reunion or blah, 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 whatever, getting in the little black dress, all that kind of stuff, look good in a swimsuit. Is so much more than that. And I think sometimes if we keep that in front of our own mindset and that of people that we put on the HealthPointe program, or we're even just coaching them nutritionally, just keep reminding them of the payoff and how great it's going to be for the changes they've made now. And I'm going to misquote this. I actually put it in my text, but the sun's bright out here, so I can't see it. But it's about, it's not that some people are so great at all. It's about people that are willing to change. And change is the hardest thing for any of us to accept. We hate change. It means getting out of the comfort zone. It means doing things different. And we've certainly had the last number of years of change. But if we can get our attitude and our mindset about change corrected and in the right direction, the change is exciting and it's an opening to new opportunities, better health, better choices, better people in general, then I think all that we are going through and have gone through and probably will go through in the future, hopefully not too long, we will come out winning. It'll be a great situation that we've been in, and we have grown as people as a result of the change. So that's just a couple of little thoughts to trigger off the morning. I'll get back to you, Eric. Did we lose Eric? Hello.
Sorry, I had muted myself. I was in I try to mute myself in case there's any car noise or something like that, and there was a fire engine that was going by that I don't think you guys wanted to listen to.
Is
but
the road noise disturbing you, Eric? Because I can mute. Okay.
No, it's not at
Okay.
all. I didn't hear anything at all. But
Okay.
no, I was just saying when I was muted there, I was saying that no, I think that's great. I couldn't lay a better foundation for maybe our conversation here this morning, because change is whether it's a new person getting started on HealthPointe, whether it's somebody that is been on the program, done well, and is maybe coaching others, it's going to require change. And I think change is a new, I don't know how to characterize it. It's like the new high priority muscle memory. I think increasingly, I mean, let's just look historically. I mean, how much change happened, in the last, 100 years versus the last 50 years versus the last 20 years versus the last 10 years, and then versus the last 6 months. And guys, change is going to happen at an increasingly faster and faster pace. And if you get to where you can embrace change, as Carol is talking about, wow, that really is going to benefit you. So no, I think that's a great foundation, Carol. I could go on and on about that, and I won't. I will keep the ball bouncing around the horn here. And David Dessau, I see you on there. So David, if you're unmuted and care to chat, go ahead. Maybe you're not unmuted.
I think I'm unmuted. Am I unmuted?
There you go. You are unmuted. Yep. And you're off camera now, which might be, you're pushing all kinds of buttons there. There we go. Now we see you and hear you.
So bouncing off of Carol. And so it isn't just, the change or with health, it is also that not just the years, but it's the quality of years, of having, one of my discussions with doctors is, I'd rather live the next 5 years happy than to live the next 30 years, depressed and low energy and whatever. And so it's being able to be healthy and also to have that quality of life, a little bit of bounce in your step. And then another Hankism that I don't like.
Oh, bummer.
Keeping it real. I like it.
And this has to do with change, and that is everything I want is on the other side of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
And so
I think we're all with you on that one.
So again, one of the things that I preach to my own family and some of the key people that I influence is easy is going to lead to weak and disappointment, and difficult will lead to strength and probably great things in your life. And so to embrace the strong winds versus trying to avoid the strong winds. Actually, this is really out of my, I'm sanguine, so I would not quote me on this one at all. But I believe, that I I had read recently that the best dopamine hit is in going after what it is you want.
Yeah.
You know, you want kind of the fall. But as you're chasing and getting closer to what you want, the dopamine starts kicking in, you start having those good feelings. And so again, that's kind of like embracing the work that needs to be done.
Yes. Yeah.
Am I in the right neighborhood on that, Eric? You're more knowledgeable.
Oh, well, I may or may not be more knowledgeable on that, but I'll just say on that point, I guess I do know a thing or two about it. And on the dopamine front, that's absolutely the case. Dopamine, have you ever known anybody to like achieve something and there's this great achievement and then they're not happy, but they were happy when they were pursuing that achievement. And so it's to your point, David, that's the recognition that literally the way dopamine works, people often think it and associate it with like achieving something or but it's not. It's when the mind is pursuing that. Now that could be pursuing a certain type of food or anything like that, or a goal, but it's that pursuit that creates the dopamine. So yes, spot on that. That's great.
Eric, can I bounce in for a second on that?
Yes.
Okay, our future son-in-law, they are going to be getting engaged here sometime this year. Anyway, he's a great reader and he's also a great athlete, or he was a great athlete in Cirque du Soleil. But well, I lost my train of thought now.
You might be
Oh,
talking
good
about the dopamine and the pursuit.
Oh, yes, he was actually showing me, and I will try to pull up the gentleman, or a young guy. He was a young guy, but he had zoomed to success, as so many young people do. I think his was the entertainment area, but so many of them are IT, or they come up with an invention. All of a sudden they find themselves in this total realm that is very foreign to them, and they don't know what to do with it. And he was saying on his podcast, well, here I am. I'm a millionaire at age blah, 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 I don't know, 20. And I'm so depressed, I don't know what to do with myself. Where do I go from here? And I think what you were saying, Eric, reminds me of so many people, especially young people, that have shot to success and then reached a goal and then didn't know what to do with themselves after that because they had never grown along the way. So that ties, I think, in with what you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. We probably all heard the stories about someone that like I don't know, wins the lottery, becomes tens of millions of dollars, but they did nothing to get that. And you go, oh, they've got to be so thrilled. And usually, give them 5 years and they're usually a mess. And so there's that. And then there's, when somebody, let's say they did put in the work and they achieve that success in athletics or financially or what have you, what's the next goal? I know that's something that I learned from this community. I can't remember exactly who it was. It might have been Bob Andrews that we was talking about, maybe when he was visiting with, I want to say like a Jay Van Andel, just had some great achievement. And, Jay was like, hey, great, celebrate. But what's your next goal? Like immediately, not let's, live and just camp out here. What's your next goal? And I know Emily and I try to, remind ourselves of that, as a lot of you know, that she just recently did a 25K race. And before that race, before that race, she's coming up on it. It's like the week before. And we're having a discussion, what's the next goal? Not to diminish the satisfaction that comes from that, but just recognizing that the thrill, yes, there's a thrill in the achievement, and You got to acknowledge that and celebrate that and give it its, soak it up. But, the thrill comes from the pursuit. So what's the next goal? What are we doing next? Not in some like weird, non-satisfied, non-grateful way, but rather in just a recognition, like you're saying, Carol, and like you're saying, David, it's that pursuit that gives us that, that zip in our step that we want to, jump out of bed in the morning and get going. And so that's such key stuff there for sure. So,
Well,
anybody
Jim
else?
Rohn,
go.
Jim Rohn, one of his phrases was, one of the reasons you want to become a millionaire is not for the money, but for the person that you have to become in order to attract $1 million.
Right.
And then a second piece of his stuff was, which is really in defiance of much of what's going on in our world today. And he would say that you could take all the money in the world and share it up equally with everyone in the world. And within 5 years, it'll be back in the same pockets.
Yeah, I think I've heard that from Jim Rohn as well. Yeah, very key. It is so much about, we attract who we become, right? And if you're not ready for those things, prepared, then probably if you gain it, it's probably not going to stick around, whether that's health or finances or anything. You got to prepare the vessel to receive the contents, right? So, great stuff. Well, Kathy, are you unmuted?
Sure.
And then
Yeah,
we'll probably go-
I was gonna unmute and comment on something. So that's kind of perfect. Do you want to say who's gonna go after me? I can hush for a second and do that.
Yeah, sure. I'll just queue up Billy from Texas. You're on deck, and then maybe Linda, if you'd like to go after Billy. And again, nobody's obligated here, but I'm just making sure I give everybody an opportunity to.
Okay, so when you were talking about, when you have the goal, once you've achieved that goal, you gotta set the next one. I've been listening to CEPs and I can't remember who it was, but I remember hearing that a couple times this week. And so pointed, and as we know, and one of Nancy's favorite sayings is, what's the difference with a goal and without a goal is results, so that kind of just goes right into our whole HealthPointe mentality, and I think kind of in a way it's a good thing that we have the 6-week cycles, because you set a goal, you learn this program, you do your 4 weeks of weight loss, and you follow all the steps, and you start gaining your successful habits, and then you do your add more food days, which you freak out about because you're thinking, oh my God, I'm going to gain weight now, but you just got to trust into the system and trust into your coach and trust into everything and just continue on. And then you're there, and then you're like, okay, well, I still want to lose some more, so I'm going to do another cycle. So I think, whoever created HealthPointe was genius in that cycle mentality, because it does help everybody set a new goal as you've achieved the first one, and so on until you get to maintenance. And then your goal is just to continue to do all the great habits that you've put forth for however many cycles it took you to get to whatever that is. I was thinking about myself, I was pushing and wanted to do that 1 year, 10,000 steps a day, because I really wanted to see what the Fitbit was going to do. And then, of course, it was disappointing as anything, because it did absolutely nothing. I mean, at least now the Pace Setter app, every time I do 10,000 a day, I get pretty colored confetti falling down, and it just makes me feel good, So, but when I achieve the goal of the year of 10,000 steps, okay, well, what's next? Well, I got to continue doing it, because I want to be able to say that I've done 10,000 steps a day for a year and going on 71 days today,
Nice.
And
Nice.
I mean, and it totally is who I am. I mean, if I look and I'm like, oh my God, I still have 6,000 steps to go at 4 o'clock. Well,
guess what? I'm hammering my steps out because I'm like not gonna miss this. It's almost to the point of I guess I wouldn't say annoying, but you know, everybody's like, "Where are you gonna do steps, Mom? You know, how many where you got left to go?" You know?
You got a team now.
You know,
A
yeah,
cheering
I'm
team.
like, I got another 3,000 to go. Oh, it's 9 o'clock. You can do it. Yeah, I know. I gotta hammer this out quickly. You know, so you know, I guess so. I've set another goal for myself, even though I reached the year. I just want to be able to share with people and say, "Hey, you can do this." And you know, when David had sent that YouTube video about the benefit of 10,000 steps. And I watched that, I was just like, holy moly, this is amazing, you know? And I've shared that with a couple of people. Nobody's jumped on board, but they've just said that, you know, I'm inspirational to them. These are people at work. I'm inspirational to them because they're like, yep, we see you in the lobby, we see you in the parking lot, you know, and I'm up to 5,000 today. And I'm like, way to go, you know? So,
Yeah.
you know,
No, that's,
so yeah, so I mean that, you know.
I was just gonna say that's isn't that the best form of leadership that all of us need to remind ourselves of, and that is example, right?
Yeah.
So when they say they saw you walking in the parking lot, that's that example speaks volumes, right? Way more than any other. I think it's Jim Dornan himself, you know, in one of the audios called leading people effectively. I think it's one of his first, you know, tenets, one of his first points is about example. That's it rests on us. And that's great because that's just right there in the HealthPointe model for sure. So no, that's great stuff. And so Billy from Texas.
Let me just bounce on the 10,000 steps for a second.
Sure.
And so I've been walking and Chris has caught up with me. And
right.
So we're out here together. And Chris I had shared a little while back that she had plateaued at like 150. Her goal was 140. And so I noticed as I was getting ready to go for a walk and I looked at her record keeping that she had done her 10,000 steps every day this month so far.
Wow.
And she's
Right.
been also taking, she's also been taking 2 muscle multipliers every day. And
Yeah.
so she has dropped from, you know, how that final 10 pounds is always so hard to lose. And so she has dropped from 150 down to 145. So she's like 5 pounds away from her ultimate goal.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Way to go, Chris.
But part of it again is getting back into the habit of she always did at least 8,000, but has been like, part of it is it's Michigan, you know, we're in a drought, so every day has been sunny and nice.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, no kidding. We're due for some rain, I think, at the end of the weekend. But congratulations to Chris. And that is so true. You know, anybody on HealthPointe, if they are nearing like that ultimate goal, particularly if it's a real lean weight, you know, we don't talk a lot about you know, measuring body fat, but of course you can do that. But when you get down, you know, less body fat, what Chris is doing with the amino acids, with the essential amino acids, aka muscle multiplier, and then increasing her, or just you know maintaining that habit of the steps, is, you know, giving that extra edge, that muscle edge to burn, because it does get harder as you get leaner and leaner. So great job, Chris. That's awesome. So Billy, over to you. How's Texas? How's the calf doing?
Calf doing great. Good morning, everybody. The calf doing great, running around, hanging out with the big boys now, with the big bulls. But anyway, today is another great day for me, and had a great week. And although I had to go through some things, but that's the way life is. Guess the biggest thing is that we got a chance to sell some vitamins here in Texas, in Maryland this week. But
Woohoo!
I guess it was due to Carol Zampa and Hank were telling us to have it on hand. So Maryland had some week where I ordered the vitamin for one of my customers, and although she was a long time picking them up, a week or two before she picked them up, we called and let her know that the vitamin was here. So I think Miller went to the restaurant here in Marlin, and she was up that way, and she delivered the vitamin to her, and she was glad to get them, and she want more. And so that was a big plus.
Nice.
And the
I
next
think you
thing-
also, didn't Marilyn sell 2 Perfect Pack for Health to do different clients in the last month or so?
Well, I know she's been selling things, but this girl here, she was here in Marlin, and she had been talking. But yeah, she needs the vitamin. She needs a little everything. She needs about 2 more things too. I don't know exactly what it was, but Miller didn't have that with her, but she got it. But
Perfect.
but everybody want this, but seems like everybody don't want to make that change to receive them. But anyway, I got a chance to talk to I went to talk to another friend of mine. He's one of my auto mechanics, and he is selling his auto shop, and he's selling his house and everything, moving to another place because of the economy, and said he needs the money. But I went to see him, and I had news for him. I had made up in my mind that the biggest thing when I talk to people, what they like to do is they like to sort of procrastinate and come up with excuses, and excuses not gonna pay the bill. But anyway, when I went there, he wasn't there, but I left a card there with him, told him to give me a call, so I will get back with him. But anyway, this week been a great week, and I was so happy to sell those vitamins. We were so happy to sell those vitamins, and then seemed like Amway just put another check in the mail in my account. I said, thank you, Jesus.
Very, very nice. Very nice. I'm glad to hear the little calf is doing well also.
Yeah.
So awesome. That is great. And thank you, Billy. And we'll go to Linda if you want to unmute, and then we'll go to, I guess I'll jump in here, and then we'll go to Larry. So Linda from Indiana.
Good morning. It's great to be with everyone. And, I think about, well, it's not just HealthPointe, but it's the decision, making the decision to not only set those goals, but accomplish those goals. And to me, HealthPointe is just a way of life for me. Now, initially, when HealthPointe came into being with Network 21, I really didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but I thought, if I'm going to talk to people about HealthPointe, I definitely need to know how it works. And so I got on the HealthPointe program. I lost about 12 pounds. And to me, HealthPointe is just a way of life. It was interesting. I volunteered at church one day, and one day when we were actually having lunch together and talking around the table, and I don't know how the topic of steps came up, but somebody said, Linda, how about you? How many steps do you get? And I said, well, I usually get 10,000 steps a day. And it was so funny to me because they were totally amazed. And to me, that's just a way of life. That's just what I do. And I just think the HealthPointe program is absolutely fantastic. Not only for the fact, just like Carol mentioned before, others have mentioned, losing the weight, but just feeling so good, having great health. I know whenever I go to my yearly checkup, I'm getting up there in years now, and the doctor is just amazed. And to me, I'm not amazed. That's what I expect. And so I'm really sold on the HealthPointe program, and just that, to me, it's a better way of life. And I'm just very grateful for it.
Wow. We need to just get a clip of that, Linda, and just share it with the world. That is such a testimony, and for those of us that know you, have seen you, we know you to be very, very healthy and vibrant. And I just love that you say, you know, your mindset is, this is not something, you know, it's great that your doctor is astonished, but it's your normal.
Exactly.
And that's so great. And guys, we all should feel that way. I mean, we're increasingly trying to get more and more Americans, well, more and more of the world. HealthPointe is worldwide, but certainly let's not forget, you know, let's keep the paradigm correct. What most Americans have been experiencing, particularly over the last 30, 40 years, in terms of their eating, is not normal. The way they feel is not normal. Our bodies are rejecting that in a big, bad way. It's manifesting in, you know, type 2 diabetes at a epidemic level, and a whole host of cascading chronic systemic illnesses, everything from mental health to heart disease to, like I said, diabetes. That is not normal. We are not engineered to experience that as normal. That is a condition of an experiment gone wrong, we'll say, over the last 30, 40 years. So Linda, love that you can just you know, state it in that way, you know, that this is normal for you. Yep, let your doctor be astonished. That's great, but it's normal for you. So love it. I guess I'll jump in here. I'm going to kind of just hit on something real pragmatic and practical when it comes to HealthPointe, and that is that, in fact, I posted it on the group this morning. You know, we use a phrase often in coaching, and that is that you can't outrun the fork. And so what I put up there was some images of various foods. We'll just say non-HealthPointe foods, cans of soda, pizza, and then it associates it with how much walking or jogging you would need to do to wear that off.
Good morning.
And pretty much all the posts there that are on there are going to be, I'd say they probably average around 25 to 30 minutes of walk. So you guys can look at that and see it for yourself, but let's just say a piece of pizza, that is going to take about 30 minutes of walking to work that off. A glass of wine, yada, yada, a can of soda, yada, yada. And why is that significant? Because it's one of the most common things that, you know, those of us that are coaching others work with people on. Is the walking important? Yes. Is the exercise important? It's all important, the hydration, the supplementation, and so forth. But it seems to take a while before people really fully understand and fully buy in to the fact that it's not so much about how much they're walking, but it's what they're eating. And so that just makes it very clear, very obvious that, you know, if you went out on Friday night and you had 3 or 4 pieces of pizza, do the math. You know, you want to walk that off, you're talking about 2 hours of walking. So get started, because that's what it's going to take. And so it's not to come down with a hammer. And of course, those of us, particularly if we're in lifetime maintenance mode, you know, we enjoy some pizza and so forth. But if you're in the mode, I know when Emily and I this is 2017 when we did our HealthPointe cycles, I can vividly remember because it just stood out like a bright light. 2 moments that I ate anything other than what was in the HealthPointe program. And both of them happened to be, I blame my dad, kidding. He was visiting us up at our cottage. And one was, we went for a bike ride. There's this beautiful rails to trail system. And it goes by a beautiful ice cream shop. And up until that point, I hadn't had any ice cream. I was just keeping it tight. I just made the decision to just stick to the program. I didn't want to negotiate it. It was actually easier just to make that decision. And then anytime those things came up in front of me, it was just easy to say in my mind, no, later, yes, now, no. And, but we were with my dad. And so we get off our bikes, we go in there, and we got him a nice ice cream and a waffle cone and everything, and he enjoyed that. My dad's super fit, by the way, so no worries there. But Emily and I got a, you know how they have like the kiddie cone? It's like a really small amount of ice cream, and we actually didn't do a cone. We had him put it in a cup, and we split it. And you know what? It was very satisfying. It was great, but I vividly remember it. And the second time, also with him up there, was a beer. I hadn't had any beer, but he was up and visiting, and so we sat out on the deck and we shared a beer together. But my point is that stands out in my mind. And you know what? Everybody's experience with the HealthPointe cycles is different, but man, we zipped through that. The weight melted off, and just like it says it will do in the program. And I'm not saying this to like pat myself on the back or pat Emily on the back. I'm patting the HealthPointe system on the back and saying, if you recognize that it's the food that you eat more so than the steps that you take, in most cases, that's going to make the biggest difference, you will drop down into that fat burning mode. And then it's just letting the days and weeks just tick on by. And it just, every week, the weight comes off. Next week, more weight comes off. The next week, more weight comes off. And if people are not paying attention to that, what will happen is they'll maybe have a drop, and then they'll down some ice cream and beers and hamburgers and pizza, and it kicks them out of that fat burning state. And then they're not going to have as much success with it. So I posted that this morning on the Facebook group. It's just very practical, very pragmatic. I think it's something we have to constantly remind ourselves. And so.
Eric, can I jump in there and tag team on you on that? You know, I think a lot of it is choices, and especially the further along in HealthPointe that you are. And like Linda said, it's a way of life. A lot of times it's just flat out choices. If you just think about it, okay, let's take pizza, for instance. All right, and I'm not saying pizza on the weight loss. I'm just saying pizza in general. Let's say you're in lifetime maintenance. All right, you can order a pizza, but you don't need to order a super sized pizza. You can order a little bit smaller pizza and then have a salad with it. You can take a pizza with a cauliflower crust, and you can put the veggies on it and add a little meat in there for spice, but not pepperoni and cheese and, you know, just all of that really goopy stuff. You can have a very healthy pizza if you just alter your choices a little bit. And when you're eating your pizza, okay, you get to the end where the crust is, the tail end, and just put the crust away. And, you know, better have a second piece of pizza with the good stuff on it than of all the crust. Just little choices like that. Little choices like ice cream. Okay, well, Hank and I, we have a Friday night where we go praise and worship on the beach. It's a beautiful experience. And then we have a special ice cream place that we go to. Now, we've been on lifetime maintenance for years. But so we'll order ice cream, and we never order it in a cup with chocolate over it and sprinkles and all that kind of stuff. First of all, I don't even like that. But anyway, you know, you can have it in a cup, and 1 scoop, not 2 scoops. And if you want to split it, that's great. For Hank and I, we don't split it, but we were getting coffee Oreo cookie ice cream. That became a family, I mean, our whole family super favorite. Well, Hank still gets that, and Hank's very slender, so certainly doesn't need to lose weight anyway. But I just order the coffee ice cream without the cookies in it. Just something simple. I still have the ice cream, but I've eliminated the cookies in it. So there's just so many different little alterations you can make, little choices that you can do instead of this, I'll do this. And I think there's a book on that. Do this, not this. And you can make up your own list like that of things you like, so you never feel denied. Boy, that's a big thing in HealthPointe. We don't denied, because when you feel denied, you will not stick with it. So think about little alterations that you can make so that you're not denying yourself. You're just exchanging this for that.
No, I totally agree. Absolutely. And yeah, you mentioned, you're in lifetime maintenance mode. Emily and I are as well. That was back in 2017. And again, testament to the program. Linda, you've talked about it. Carol, you are. Emily and I certainly can. That was a season. That was a chapter. That was like going after, a college degree where you've got 4 years ahead of you, or whatever, and you've got to just buckle down and get the job done. And it'll have its ups and downs, no doubt, but you recognize that you're in that season to get that job done. And then when you graduate, or when you in HealthPointe go into lifetime maintenance mode, that's the time, or as I say, you climb to 30,000 feet, you can pull back on the tiller. You don't have to keep it full on the whole time. You get to cruising altitude. It's really easy. You can have some ice cream, you can have some pizza, you correct course. And so great stuff. Larry, are you there? If so, go ahead and unmute, and love to hear from you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hey, let's see. Hey, the conversation has been interesting, and one of the things that I wanted to talk about was the coaching. I can't tell you how valuable the coaching is from everybody. My coach is constantly working with me, and the commitment that our coaches have, as well as, for those of us that are on the program and coaching at the same time, the commitment of our coaches, they seem to stick with you no matter what. We stick with our clients no matter what. Usually they're the ones that are deciding that that they've gotten to the point where they want to be, and then they move on. But, I'll say that our coaching is long suffering, as we could say. They suffer right along with us, and they're encouraging to us. And so we have that kind of commitment. It's, when you get a coach with HealthPointe, you are usually getting, almost like a great friend commitment that goes along helping you to reach your goal. We were talking about goals earlier. And so you have someone who's sticking with you no matter what you're going through, no matter what obstacles you're coming up with. And then we get that great coaching where we feel like, oh man, I might have messed up that time, or I might have ate something, or whatever it is. But to have that coach, that little small voice in your ear that tells you to keep on going and encourages you, I can't tell you how valuable that is. And so, that was all I wanted to add. And also, I'm stuck at a point, but what I'm doing is I'm increasing my steps, making sure I stick with my meal program, and increasing my steps from 12 to 15,000 now, since I have gotten used to doing my 10,000 steps regularly. So that's all I have to add.
Hey, that is great stuff, Larry. And we know your 10,000 steps are big steps, as we talked about the other week, right? But comparing, you're a tall guy. No, and by the way, I will make a brief comment here, and then Lenita, I know you're in here. I don't know if you want to jump on here, but we'll go to you. We'll give you the opportunity next if you want to. If not, Hank, if you're on here, I think you still are. Yep, we'll circle around to you, but I'll just make a comment on the coaching. I'm so glad you did that, Larry, because wow, a lot of things we could say on that. Here's one thing I'll say on it. I got a number of people started this week. Actually, they're starting officially on Monday, but with the prep days, yesterday was actually their first prep day. But bear in mind, there's people out there. One of the gals that's getting started, she kind of like your comment, Linda, she doesn't have a bunch to lose. It was funny when we were chatting, I said, it's almost unfortunate that you don't, because her interest was in coaching. Her interest, she's already in this space. She's very credentialed and passionate about helping people in health and wellness. And she's been at a particular position, I think for 12 years. And she's kind of just feeling like she's outpacing what that, salaried position pays her, and, her impact that she can have. So her interest is in coaching. She doesn't have much to lose. She has a little bit. And so she wants to experience the 6-week cycle, like you were saying, Linda, to be able to know experientially, not just from reading about it or hearing about it, to experience, those 4 weeks, to experience it, that's the 6 weeks, the 4 and 2, that is, to experience it all. And I just know that, if we're going to increasingly impact America, we need more and more people that, and I guess here's my point. There's probably, I don't know, I would say there's a lot of people out there that are passionate about helping other people, particularly when they can make a lot of money doing it, right? Yeah. And so, and fortunately, a lot of those people could just dial in their health a little bit, some of them a lot, but their main focus is, I want to help people. I want to coach. This is a phenomenal coaching program, and that's what I want to do. Oh, I need to do the program in order to learn the program, in order to teach a program. Okay, copy that. I'm on it. And so that's where we get the leverage with helping more and more people. That's the whole model. And so I just increasingly, I'm looking for, sharp people like her that have this inherent desire to help people. And then they kind of backfill with learning the HealthPointe system, which is simple, right? But they have to experience it. So I just wanted to comment on your coaching comment, Larry. I think that was really, really great stuff. So, again, Lenita, if you're still on here, if you care to share anything, we'll give you a opportunity to do that. If you don't, we'll swing on over to Hank. But Lenita, and then Carol, you said Lenita's in Chicago area or Illinois, is that right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, all right. So Lenita, either you're choosing to stay off, which is totally fine, by the way, guys. Never need to feel compelled. We just want to give everybody the opportunity to. But Hank, if you're there to defend yourself against David Dassau's comment that he gets his Hankism.
I'm here and I'm listening. Yeah.
All right.
Well, what I love, can you hear me all right, guys?
Yes.
Sure can. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I love the program. And I love the brilliance of the name, the title they gave it, HealthPointe. Because to me, the key word is health. Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you, I never had to go in the HealthPointe program because I had to take this reins on my health when I was way before that HealthPointe program was around. This happened to me while I still worked as an engineer at Ford Motor Company, and I was blowing up like a balloon because of all the whining and dining being done by the suppliers. They took you out to lunch 3-4 times a week, and steak and martinis and all that stuff, good stuff. You think you're living a great life, but pretty soon you're paying the price. And I ended up in the doctor's office because of the health issues I was starting to experience. And the doctor wanted to start me on all kinds of medications in my 40s. I says, no, I'm not going there. I heard enough bad things even way back then. So I decided to do something about it myself, change my lifestyle, start shedding the weight, and got rid of some of my issues. My cholesterol went from 200 something, and over the years I dropped it down. It's just 160, still 160 today, and so on. So again, it was a situation I had to grab a hold of myself and do something about it, and not start on medications. So that was my personal experience in that area. But now I think it, like I said, the key word that sticks in my mind is health, because I know I'm older than any of you on this on this walk and talk here. All right, and you all know in August I'll be 90 years old. There's still no medications to this day.
Nice.
Yeah, in fact, Monday I'll be going to I have an appointment with the doctor to review my blood draw that was done just last week for my annual physical, and I expect good results. And to this very day, it's still going great. So to build on that, the key word is health. I'll give you a couple of experiences I had this week. One of them was a young man, like Carol said many times, and we at church, and I saw this guy coming out, and he looked in pretty darn good shape. And I said, hello. And I could tell right away he was from another country. It so happened he was from Brazil. We got chatting. I says, you look like you're in really good shape. I love to compliment people when they're in good shape, especially. And he says, yeah, he says, I'm from Brazil, been here a number of years. I said, what did you used to do in Brazil? He said, well, I was a soccer player. That's very big in Brazil, as you all know. It was a professional. He was also a military man. So we got to talking. I said, you and I need to get together. I can share some things with you that I've learned about good health, and I'd like to hear more about what you do. So we arranged it. We just sat down, not yesterday, the day before, and it was interesting. Yeah, he wanted to know more about nutrition, which I mentioned. I told him some of my background, my experience, and so forth. So I said, tell me more about nutrition. So we got into that topic. To make a long story short, he wants to know. He's looking at the total business package now, and it looks like from talking from health, it's moving into being an IBO. And we're talking today, and because I sent him some materials and little short videos and so on, and I expect him to become an IBO today. So that's one experience this last week. One other one, once a week I go to a men's breakfast group from church, and again I'm the oldest guy there. You never know it. Some of them look like they're ancient, and of course it's all men, and men are rather stubborn. They think they know what they're doing, but I just listen, and I throw little tidbits. But I also keep my eye open to see what's happening just beyond the table of guys, outside to who else was in the area. And on Wednesday, I spotted a young lady who was sitting there working on her computer, and she had was like an award sitting in front of her. And so when I got up to go get some my food to the buffet area, when all the guys went, I went to talk to her. And now, talking about out of the comfort zone that David brought up, that's exactly right. What you really want are outside your comfort zone. For me to talk to a strange person way back when I was an engineer was like I was going to die before I do that. But today I had to change. I had to start reaching out. So I went over to her table. I said, I just was watching you working on your computer. And I was kind of curious about this. This looks like a trophy or something that you have in front of you. What is that? And this is how the conversation started. She's a salesperson. She was prepared for a presentation on cremation. So she's talking to people, in that mindset. And A lot of them are not in great health, I suppose, either. So I says, oh, my mind is thinking. I said, oh, I'm reaching some here. And of course, being a salesperson that she did, she wanted to turn the conversation around. She says, are you interested in cremation? I says, I've already got that all set up. My wife and I took care of that. It's all set up. And I really think that's a great way to go. And I says, you know, by the way, you look like you're in good shape yourself. See, again, I turn it around, play here a compliment. And she says, well, I do my best to work on that. And then of course she paid to compliment back to me, says, you look like you're in good shape too. I says, well, I've taken the reins in my hands to make sure I stay healthy and good supplementation and good nutrition. She says, oh, really? She says, I need to know more about that nutrition part. So make a long story short, guess what? Again, when you listen to what they're saying, you got to be prepared to come back with the proper reply. Keep asking the questions, right? Keep asking questions. So make a long story short, we have an appointment a week from Monday at 2 o'clock. She texted me back, says, yes, can you join me in this appointment at 2 o'clock? She and I are gonna meet for coffee someplace and we're gonna continue the conversation. So, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lead her into the business area too, because we start talking about supplementation. Guess what? She's gonna have the tools now to share with these people. In fact, she made a comment. She said, I need to get you in front of a group of people that I work with that need to listen about nutrition.
Mm.
Okay, so, you know, it's amazing when you reach out of that comfort zone and compliment the person about something you may see about them, how they are ready to listen to more what you have to say. So that's my story for this week. 2 good leads that I know will lead into, because I expect them to lead to IPO, because I'm in the business mode. Okay. And also good nutrition. And that was the starting point. The keyword health.
They pay us.
Health point, keyword is health. Okay, guys. So good to talk to you, all of you. You're doing a great job, Eric. And by the way, you did a great job on that testimonial on Thursday night. I love
Woohoo!
it. Was awesome. All right.
Thank you.
I'll turn it back to you, Eric.
Oh, that's so great, Hank. I want to tune into the Saturday sessions just to hear a story of connection that you often have. And yeah, and I remember last week, you mentioned too, how people love to connect. Or I think you were saying that it's connecting on the health topic is such a I don't want to say easy thing to do, but in a sense it is, because people, if you come around to the subject of health, it's usually a good conversation mode. So anyhow, I do, of course, I mentioned earlier, my wife is on here, but I think she is on the treadmill, so probably muted on the treadmill. And also we had picked our dog up from the vet yesterday, our little Basenji, so kind of babysitting her. So she's probably not going to want to unmute, but if there's anybody else that has any other kind of wrap up or final comments, whether it's Emily or anyone else, feel free to unmute and chat. Otherwise, we are pretty much at that 1 hour mark and we'll wrap it up. Anybody else want to comment or anything before we wrap here?
I just want to throw a little, first of all, thank you to you, Eric, for the wonderful job that you did as a testimonial from a traditional business owner. I thought that was a very, very good thing for a lot of people to hear. I loved that there was a young person, I think he was 22, because one of the last people we just registered really looked like him, and he's 22. So it was a great relating. And David is a real leader. We had a computer glitch in communication. Partly, Network 21 person was on vacation. I probably didn't follow up like I should have either. Anyway, David got dropped. He was supposed to be on. And just like a tremendous leader, he was so graceful. He said, no problem. I'll take care of it another time. So we are going to hear from David And my apologies to you, David, for I know what it is to get prepared to do something like that and then not do it. So we're just really proud of each and every one of you. The leaders that are emerging from this, I mean, I can see it way before it happens. And Hank and I are very excited about what we're seeing with you guys. And we just think this is going to be a great year, taking our business to the next step and helping a lot of beautiful, wonderful people that maybe you don't even know us yet, or maybe are just, sticking their toe in the water and kind of testing it. We're so excited because the most important person is the one that you just met that you can help. So that's my closing comment.
That is, it can't get a better closing comment than that, Carol. That was fantastic. Thank you so much to you and Hank. Everyone on the call here, hope everybody that wanted to speak got a chance to. And we'll get this put together into a clip or two and maybe a full-length version after we edit it up. And but other than that, I've got nothing else. We'll all of us will get on with the rest of our Saturday. Thank you everyone for hopping on here. Love this community, and everybody have a great day. We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Have a great day.
Eric, appreciate it.
Make it
Yeah.
happen, guys.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.